9:48 here on the Chris Berg Show on the We the People Network. Number to call in, 888-598-8464. 271-1100 with us this morning, U.S. Senate candidate Dwayne Sand. Dwayne, one of the great things about being in this seat is I get to go out and talk to a lot of people across the great state of North Dakota, hear things, kind of rumors or thoughts or what people are saying, but may not actually come up to you and say. So I get the liberty to do that. So one of the things that I continue to hear, and I'll read this to you first and then share this with you. This is from Rob Port's blog, sayanythingblog.com, about your fundraising for the third quarter of last year. Sand ended the third quarter with $63,700 and change of cash on hand, $63,600 and some odd dollars in debt. A lot of people are saying, you know what, Dwayne Sand just is going through the primary because he's got to run this campaign in order to pay off his debt.
No, that wouldn't be the case. We did have one major setback in that quarter, and it actually dealt with a conversation you and I had yesterday on the phone, Chris, where you had said that we had paid Herman Cain to come in. One thing that Herman did do for us in that quarter was sign a fundraising letter that we sent to about it was hundreds of thousands of people. And it dropped in the mail the Monday before the Thursday when the allegations came out about Herman. And we lost a major amount of money on that mailing. So if you want to know precisely why that happened, that's precisely why it happened. And no, we did not pay Herman to come to North Dakota last week.
Are you paying Dick Morris?
We have to cover, legally, we have to cover some of his expenses. So yes, he is coming to Minneapolis first and then up to Fargo, to Bismarck. It's going to be a great couple of days.
But are you paying him a consulting fee, i.e. when you went out in New York and had your fundraiser out in New York?
No, we did not. Paid him nothing. In fact, in the New York City fundraising case, he basically just crossed the street from Fox Studios and came over to the restaurant.
Again, Dwayne Sand, U.S. Senate candidate. Number to call in, 271-1100. 97% of your contributions, according to this FEC report from last year, outside of North Dakota. It doesn't really bode well here in the state. Your explanation for it?
Well, what do you mean it doesn't bode well?
I think people want to see that, hey, if we're going to elect somebody to represent North Dakota, we want to know that the money's coming from the people in North Dakota.
Well, Chris, that's what I used to believe, and that's what a lot of people used to say. Even when I raised 5 times more money in-state than Earl Pomeroy did in previous races, the majority of $2 million still has to come out of state. Look at Rick's PAC fundraising. He's $500,000. The most of his money will come out of state. I don't buy that argument anymore. We used to proudly say that we outraised Earl Pomeroy in North Dakota donations, but we always acknowledged that we got the primary amount of our money from out of state.
Again, this is from OpenSecrets.org and Rob Port's SayAnythingBlog.com. 73% of Berg's individual contributions over $200 have come from North Dakota. So could that flip, obviously, by the primary and the general, of course, but at this point in time, he's got a majority of his money coming from the people of North Dakota.
Chris, he has a majority of his individual contributors coming from North Dakota.
Right.
As I said, he will have the majority of his money coming from out of state. He's already over $500,000 of PAC money, and that's the advantage of being in Congress. You have, and that is why, Chris, it's so hard to beat an incumbent. Now, this is an open seat. This is the seat belonging to the people of North Dakota, but he's being treated as the incumbent. I get that. I accept that. No big deal. What I'm doing I'm not doing this for fun. I'm doing this to solve some real problems that we have in America. This is hard work. You can't just get into the arena with a half foot. And, as the previous caller said, and I love all these callers that start out by saying what a great guy you are for serving your country for 26 years and going to 41 countries and fighting in 2 wars. But, come on, give me a break. This primary is part of the process. It hasn't been done before. It's the legal way of competing for a seat. As Republicans, we ought to be embracing this instead of fighting and whining about it. This is a really important election. We've got to beat Heidi Heitkamp. We need the best prepared candidate to do it. And the way Rick's going, I don't see him being that candidate, because if you can't talk to the people and defend your ideas and your votes on a stage with me, how are you going to do it with Heidi Heitkamp in the fall?
Last question for you, because you keep talking about, hey, we've got to come together and make sure that we obviously beat Heidi Heitkamp, correct?
Exactly.
So let me ask you this, and this is my opinion. You may or may not agree. Other people, again, tell me the same thing. So I keep hearing this out there in the rummagings across the state. Quit falling for the guy across town's trap. I mean, he's bringing you on his show all the time, so you can go on there and bang on Rick Berg, and obviously it looks good for his sister to make Heidi Heitkamp look good. And they're like, what is he doing? Why is he, if he's really about beating Heidi Heitkamp, why does he keep falling prey to the guy across town's trap?
Chris, if you don't think I get that, you'd be sorely mistaken.
Then why do it?
I go on his show like I would go on your show to talk to the people in North Dakota about things I believe in and my solutions to solve our problems. The same reason, another reason.
So when you go on there then and you're banging on Rick Berg, that doesn't seem to solve any problems.
I go on there talking about Rick Berg's votes. If you think that's banging on, I'm sorry, but I didn't create Rick's record. Rick created Rick's record.
I know, but this is time to run, obviously, on yours and say, again, this is about Heidi Heitkamp, not Rick Berg.
Don't mischaracterize my visits on your competitor's radio station. I talk about my plans. In fact, I'm the only candidate talking about any plans to solve these problems, and I talk about them all the time. My energy plan, plans to save Social Security. I mean, you're characterizing those interviews as if I'm falling into some trap.
And again, all I'm sharing with you is what I hear, Dwayne. I don't get a chance, obviously, to listen to that show, but I want to get to one quick phone call for you because we are coming up on the clock here. Gabe, welcome to the Chris Berg Show.
Hey, Dwayne, just for sake of the whole thing where you're talking about unifying the party, look at it. If you got better ideas than Rick, okay, that's fine. But don't talk about Rick. All you got to do is talk about Dwayne and quit talking about, beating up on him and beating up on whatever his record is. If you're a car salesman and you're going to go and sell Ford, you don't talk trash about Chevy.
Really?
Dwayne, we got literally 30 seconds. I want to give you the last word. And again, as you can tell, that isn't that. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I fully respect him. We all have our opinions, but listen to some presidential debates. If you think that running for this seat is something that they should only be doing, talking about their own solutions all the time, you have to point out the differences between you and the other guy or gal so the voters know, so they can make an informed choice. I don't beat up on Rick. I don't say anything untrue. It's the issues that matter, and that's what I'm trying to communicate to the.
And Dwayne, I do want to tip my hat to you for getting into the ring. I've said several times now on the show, I think it was FDR or Teddy Roosevelt that talked about the whole man in the ring quote. It's easy for me to sit here and be a critic. I get that. I understand that. And I respect you for going, hey, I'm going to go into this process. It's not simple to get vetted. It's not easy. And so I just want you to know that I do understand that. I appreciate that. And I'm just doing my job. I'm getting a bunch of emails here saying, Chris, great questions. I'm loving it. So I'm just doing my job to obviously help vet you as well, okay?
You have a great Navy day, Chris.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, Dwayne. We appreciate the time. And again, it's not easy what he's doing. I mean, to go and run for a U.S. Senate seat is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. But again, I'm sharing with him what I'm hearing across the state as I'm talking to more and more people. And I don't think a lot of people would walk up to him and say some of those things that we talked about with him today. And that's the beauty about being here. I get to hear from you, share your thoughts with him, and let him answer those questions that many of you may not get a chance to ask. We're coming up with the clock. Kyle, the producer's yelling at me. Stay close. It's the Chris Berg Show here on the We the People Network, coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio.